Hey, welcome to Diaries of Badass Bosses, the podcast series that takes a deep dive into the journeys of entrepreneurs and businesses who are shaking things up in their industry. I'm Penny.
And I'm Tigz. And in this series, we'll explore the stories of people who have defied the odds, taken risks, and forged their own paths to success. We'll hear from founders who have turned their ideas into thriving businesses, as well as CEOs who have transformed their organizations and taken them to new heights.
So exciting. We're going to talk about what it means to be a badass boss, including the challenges, the rewards, and the importance of resilience and adaptability. We're going to hear their stories, insights, advice for anyone looking to make their mark in the world of business, no matter what size.
Want a weekly dose of badass boss energy? Join us every Wednesday on all major podcasting platforms.
See you there.
Hello and welcome to Diaries of Badass Bosses. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing my co-host and my bestie, Penny Joyner Platt, who is the founder of the Plattform, which is a business development agency. I am so excited because obviously we know each other super well.
Intimately.
But I'm really excited to have this opportunity to ask you questions so people get to know you better, but maybe I'm going to learn a thing or two about you in the process.
I'm actually a bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. Like, you definitely know how to get really under the skin of people because that's what you do.
Yes.
So as much as you do know me, I'm also a little bit nervous, but I'm excited. Welcome to Badass Bosses. This is exciting. I literally have been thinking about this day, I think for a long time actually, like creating a podcast. And when you said to me you wanted to do it with me, that was it. That was like deal done. And then we found Connor. Oh, our lovely Connor.
Who's currently off camera if you're watching this in video form.
I'm only available in your ears.
We're trying to get him on camera.
Yeah.
Hopefully later in the season.
Oh, we will, definitely. The soothing tones of Connor are going to feature quite regularly in this podcast. But, okay, now we've introduced ourselves, I suppose. Should we get to it?
Yes. So I sent you these questions because I'm such a night owl. I sent these to you at about 2 a.m. this morning. So you're going into this interview fully blind.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun.
This is what scares me. Look, I have 2 children under 4. I am in bed by like 8 p.m. So seriously.
We live on different time planes, don't we?
We do. It's like different countries. Okay, go for it.
So I have a little bit more of my intro for you because, I can't just leave it at that. So offering a range of PR and marketing services, including one-to-one coaching, do it with you and do it for you. Penny's mission is to help you and your business become more visible on every platform. So I often affectionately refer to you as the words to my pictures, and with an impressive 15-year career history covering every aspect of media, PR, marketing and brand building across a variety of consumer brands, both small and large, I'm pretty certain that your CV speaks for itself. You've worked on campaigns for Disney, QVC, Celebrity Cruises, and NFU Mutual, to name a few. So I'm really excited that we can delve a little bit further into the world of Penny and find out more about you. So tell us your origin story. So how does a high-flying PR queen from the city end up going solo and founding a rapidly growing business development agency?
I actually had the weirdest career journey. Basically was originally a professional dancer and singer. So I actually went to stage school. I didn't do university. I came straight out of school and I was desperate to be a dancer. And I didn't even tell my mum and dad. I basically went to the audition without telling them.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did not see you learning things already.
Just because I basically drove myself down to London to audition for Lane Theatre Arts, and they didn't know what I was doing.
Where were you at the time? So, where were you based?
So I was in Birmingham, so Tamworth, where I'm from, Staffordshire. I am a Brummie lass. though you can't tell it from my accent because I did do elocution lessons, thank God. No offence to anyone from Birmingham, by the way, but it is quite a, specific...
It's an accent.
Accent, yeah. So, so I basically took myself down to Lanes and auditioned. And because the audition happened just as they were basically taking all of the kind of next year, it was literally the week that they were making the decisions, I actually got accepted.
Yeah, you did.
And I was in bed and my mum answered the phone because these were the days when you didn't have mobiles and they phoned your home phone. And she basically answered the phone and she was like, Penny, Lane Theatre Arts is on the phone saying they've accepted you. And I hadn't actually told them that I'd auditioned at that point. And took the call. I was literally waking up at that moment. Took the call. They were like, yes, you're accepted, but you're going to have to now go for a scholarship audition if you want to get in. Because ultimately it's £15,000 a year to go. And my mum turned around and said to me, well, you better get that scholarship, hadn't you? That was what she said to me. It wasn't like, well done for getting it. It was literally like, well, you better get that scholarship now. I did actually go the following week and I did get the scholarship. So I did go to Lane Theatre Arts. But then, started my career in dance and acting and singing and realised that it's not going to pay my bills because you're in and out. It flops so much. So at the time I was working in a pub as well as doing my dancing and stuff. And one of my friends was actually a DJ. And he kind of travelled around and he ended up getting me into radio.
Yes.
From that, I then worked for GCAP Media. From that, I then worked for ITV, which is actually, funnily enough, how I met my husband as well, through that link. Thanks, Mitch and Sparky. But so from there, I just started in PR and marketing, but I did it from the media point of view. The best bit for me was working for the Press Association because there's not many PRs that get the opportunity to actually work on a news floor alongside a journalist and do PR and work for the client. So effectively I was bridging that gap, which a lot of clients don't always have that access to, because what I'm able to do is say, I know exactly what a journalist wants.
Yeah.
Whether it's the written word, whether it's the picture desk, video desk, whatever. But I was there literally at the time when the video wire was launched. People weren't even doing video at the time. It was all press releases. Yeah. But the great thing was I got the best training in the world, in my opinion. Yeah. I am a stickler for a damn good press release.
She really is.
I then went agency side. I worked in a couple of different London agencies and then fell pregnant. Very exciting. In 2019, my little boy Freddie was born. And sadly, 4 months into my maternity, I got made redundant. And I had been told a few times, like, oh, you should go out on your own. And I never wanted to do it. I was always like, no, quite safe, quite secure, my London life. Agency, I just feel like really secure in it. But something literally happened when that redundancy happened that made me go, I don't want to do the London commute in the morning. I don't want to be up at 6 a.m. on the train, coming back at 8 p.m. and missing my son grow up. Yeah. It just triggered me because, I live in Hertfordshire. It is a good hour round commute. So I went out on my own and I started my business in January 2020. Of course I did.
Best time to start a business.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Then COVID hit. But luckily I managed to secure a couple of really small business clients who I actually did work through COVID with. And actually what happened with that was I ended up not just doing PR. Yeah. And I really... that was the real turning point for me, was I'm not just offering PR to people. I'm actually offering full business support. So initially I launched my business as Plattform PR.
Yes.
With a double T.
Yes.
Because my name is Platt, just so I do know how to spell. But it ended up that I was literally doing like people's financials. I was helping them do social media. I was helping them design a new brand. I was doing a new website. It was everything that would help any small business or medium-sized business just level up and get visible. And so, yeah, last year, September, I rebranded and relaunched as The Plattform, as a business development agency with the wonderful help of your wonderful self.
Oh, well.
So that's a very long answer to one question already. So apologies.
But I think it's really important to cover that because you have such a variety and wealth of skills and knowledge that make you so good at what you do. Like, you're not just drawing from one area of expertise. You know what it's like to be in the limelight. You know what it's like to work in PR. You know what it's like to work in media. So you're bringing all those skills to your clients. It's very rare to have all of that in one package, like in one place. Was having your own business, like, obviously, like, agency life had called you originally, but was there ever a spark of, one day I want my own agency, one day I want to run my own business? Always, because I think everyone always thinks that they know how to do things in their own way.
So when I manage clients, when I look after people, you have your own style.
Yeah.
And the one thing I pride myself on is that client relationship.
Yeah.
And so there was definitely times where I felt like in the agency world, I couldn't do what I really wanted to do for that client, or I felt restricted. And so there was always that thought, but I just never felt brave enough.
So obviously you've just mentioned that you launched September 2022 with the platform. COVID was still very much on everyone's mind. It was very recent still. And at the same time, we were dealing with this rapidly developing cost of living crisis. What was it like for you launching a business in such a, quite frankly, unstable time? Like,
I'm a crazy woman. That's I'm absolute mad. I've got 2 children under 4. They're 20 months apart. I'm absolutely nuts. But I think that's the way I live my life, is that everything's full on. And I think I was so passionate. And what was important to me was to actually create a community and to create people around me, whether I'm like working with them or not, but actually just learning off people, because that's the one thing when you work on your own. I've worked with a team for years, and then I went out on my own for 2 years, and it was isolating and it was scary. And I went through really dark days of like, this is really lonely and sad. And what I found was important was, if I'm going to set up my own business, was let's make sure that I also create something that brings people with the same situation as myself, that works on their own or works at home. Let's bring them together as well on this journey, so that actually, as I'm building my business, I'm building it with people building their businesses. And just learning, because I love learning. I'm like a sponge from people. It's the reason that I love you, Tigz. Like, literally, I've learned so much from you, and I get so much from you. That it's a wonderful, relationship. And I just felt like I wanted other people to kind of come in. So that's why I set up the co-working days that I do once a month. So it was just like an opportunity kind of just come together for a day. And to be fair, we actually all say it, we don't actually get that much work done on the day. But actually what we do is a lot of learning. So I always bring someone in to talk. We have opportunities to just get something from each other throughout that day.
Yeah.
And it feels like I have a team. I mean, it's the same, I'd say, for Connor as well. Like, love you, Connor.
I love you both too.
But it's just like, you're so techie and I'm so not techie, that I love that. Like, I just, honestly. So for me, it was kind of creating a team, but working for myself.
Yeah.
So I just, my answers are really long. I'm appreciating how.
I love it. It's nice to be able to delve in. Like, all these open-ended questions. And also on the subject of your co-working, a huge shout out to CoSpace, who host them, who are also hosting us today for this podcast.
We love you, CoSpace.
Thank you for having us. We love it here. So delving into business development agency, what exactly does a business development agency do exactly? Because knowing you as well as I do, you are so much more involved than the average PR or marketing agency. So tell us what you offer and how you work with your clients.
So I suppose the way that I look at it is that I'm like an extension to their team, without having somebody in-house. Because sometimes actually when you have people that are in-house, they're so attached to it that actually they don't see the wood for the trees a little bit. So what I offer is actually being able to kind of be a part of your team, get under the skin of the brand, but really have that overarching insight and making sure that you're always that one step ahead.
Yeah.
You know, for small businesses as well that maybe don't have the full budget for an agency or a firm, that scares people. So then they literally run away from doing anything.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is be that middle ground opportunity, which is why I do the kind of all bells and whistles, and I can obviously do it all for you. But I also do the coaching, which
you
love. I
Yeah.
mean, I gotta say, the coaching side of my business is just, it's so rewarding. And for me, just seeing my clients just excel. I mean, literally, every single one of them is amazing. Like, they do so much good work. And for me, it's literally me just kind of making them accountable, kind of just guiding them through it, giving them all my kind of deep, dark secrets of PR, because there's a lot. Like, PR's not easy. Like,
really
you know,
not.
the rejection.
Yeah.
The rejection is a lot.
Yes.
But I can basically take them through all of that and give them all my tips and tricks. You know, and that for me is just, I really do love the coaching. So it's a big shout out to all my coaching clients.
So speaking of clients, how do you know when a client's right for you? Like, what are your red flags? Do you have any client icks?
Oh,
going deep here.
You are mean. Okay, right. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee now.
She's drinking the tea.
Oh, that's definitely not strong enough.
Mine's water. There's nothing in that. Nothing's saving me in that cup.
Okay. So I would always do a chemistry meeting, because I think it's really important that you click with who you work with, because you really do work closely with them.
Yeah.
And if that chemistry is not there, I have said, I don't think this will work.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I'm not one to say, I'll look at the brief, I'll understand it, and I'll, you know, if I can't either answer it or I don't think we're a right fit, or, you know, the experience or whatever's required, I'm very happy to kind of say no or recommend them to somebody else or whatever, because it is really vital that who, you know, your suppliers you work with really do have that connection with you. It makes a difference, because for me, what I constantly need is content, ideas. I need information from them. They're the experts in their field. I'm the one just shouting about it. I'm the one putting it out there. So I don't want to be the one going, okay, now I need to actually learn about services that I have absolutely no idea about, and I'll literally just be using Chat GPT or something, which I wouldn't do. I feel like it's important whenever I take someone on, it's like, I need to make sure I can do that job well, and that the connection's there, and that we're going to work together it is a partnership. So the red flags for me would certainly be if they literally just kind of handed everything over to you and just went, go. I would straight away be like, okay, it doesn't work that way. You know, there has to be that point of contact. It may not be the most senior person in the business. It may be somebody else, but you've always got to have that point of contact. You've got to have that somebody to work with. So that would always be my first port of call. How much information they want to give me. But, you know, some people really, they know that they want to do PR and social media, but they really shy away from it.
Yeah.
So I like to help build people up. I like to help give them that confidence to realise it's not as scary. Because I think if you don't put yourself out there, it's even if somebody doesn't even have a LinkedIn profile, I'm like, I'll guide you. I'll help you get there. I'll give you that, because any journalist is going to research you. So if you want PR, but you're not willing to put yourself out there, the results aren't going to happen. So I have to be really honest with people. So yeah, I think it's about ensuring you give them that confidence to be able to get out there so that I can do my job. If I can't do my job because you are unwilling to put yourself out there, then yeah, it's never going to work. It's got to be a two-way street.
And it's not even like they need the content to begin with to work with you. It's not like you have to have everything ready made to go. You'll guide them through that process. It's just being willing to go out there and show up and be visible.
It's the willingness. Yeah.
So obviously you've experienced both agency life and now obviously founding your own company as well. Is there anything that you've taken from agency life that is really serving you well? Like, what life lessons has agency life taught you that you're going, this is really helping me now?
I've been really fortunate. I had some really quite amazing people around me in agency life, from all different backgrounds, and I feel like the biggest one I probably took away was the finance side of running a business. So when I was head of PR in an agency, I was very much like kind of, this is your team. This is what you've got to get in. Yeah. This is how much you're costing us. It was like, you know, on a monthly basis, having these like really serious meetings and sitting down. And I think when I first took that particular role as head of PR, I don't think my old boss will be at all like surprised, but I was completely out of my depth. And my husband also knew I was out of my depth. And when I got the job, I literally I put down the phone and I ran to Chris going, oh my God, I got this job. And then I looked at it and went, oh, fuck, I've actually got to do it now. But I was very lucky that actually I had a very supportive board of directors that actually did show me. They put me through my paces, don't get me wrong. Like it was very much being accountable for everything, but it really did, like, that was definitely my level up massively in that role. So the finance side of it, running a whole business, and because also it was an integrated agency, so it actually had media buying, it had a creative studio, we developed a social media team. The amount I learned about running a business was massive, because I actually was lucky to have the insight because I sat on that board. So from a very young age, I got a very good insight into sitting on a board, which I don't think many people could get. So so the agency world, I loved it. I really did love it, but I think the pace of it for my life now is why I love running my own business. Yeah.
So kind of going on from that as well, one of the things that I admire the most about you is your ability to know your own strengths, but utilize the strengths and skill sets of others around you. Like, you are the queen of pulling together a team to perfectly fit a bespoke client. You know, like you've pulled me in on jobs, like Connor, who sat here as well, like you've pulled Connor in on jobs. And I know that you pull from agency and industry contacts. Where did you learn this skill, and what do you look for in the perfect collaboration?
Trust. Absolutely trust. Because if I'm recommending somebody, it's me that they're going to come back to. It's literally all down to trust. But I just feel like, I don't know whether it's a sixth sense. Maybe I have one. Maybe. But when I do meet someone and I click, it's just, I just know. I just know that I can work with them. I just know that there's a real kind of...
You just get that connection, don't you?
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm going to use Connor as a perfect example there, because when I've been, this is going to sound really weird now, Connor. Like,
Fire away. I'm all for it.
It's going red in the corner already.
I was watching you from afar. But no, I knew your name and you kept like popping up in my Insta. So
that'll be my funny Instagram reels, which you are now on board with.
Oh, I know. You've got me on board with this. I'm actually, I'm not such an old fart anymore. You've brought me into the modern world. Yeah, guys, I was genuinely afraid of reels, but Connor is bringing me into the fold, and you'll be seeing them soon.
There's some good ones. Really, really good ones.
But basically, it was like, as soon as I had that initial call with Connor, I honestly genuinely clicked with you, and I knew straight away I wanted to work with you. It was like something, just the vibe, the way in which you talked about your clients and what you did and what you were producing. It was just something there.
Vibe check.
Oh,
Vibe check.
Mwah. I mean, for you, it's different because obviously you were my friend first. So we had that trust already, which was the beauty of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think if it's somebody brand new, if it is somebody that I want to connect with, collaborate with, I think it's just having that connection. And I think being really transparent and being like, this is how I work. Yeah. This is how I deal with my clients. You are absolutely happy to be completely a part of this. So I'm not even like a control freak where it's like, I have to manage that client solely as no. Yeah. If I bring someone into the fold, then you're in like that mix. Yeah. And you know that because of the work that we do with Raymond James and Brilliant Brazilian and all the stuff that we've collaborated on. You very much manage that client from your side and the expertise you offer, because they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear it through somebody. So I think it's just, but I can't tell you what it is that makes me know.
Yeah, you just know. I think you just, it is like a gut instinct thing, isn't it? You know if someone's going to be a right fit and whether they have that same mantra and like work ethic as you, and it shines through.
But I'll happily drop someone if they,
Oh yeah.
I don't. Yeah, definitely. I don't suffer fools gladly. Like if you start to just not show up, then you're not the one. And so sometimes, it doesn't always work perfectly. So I don't want to make out like every collaboration I've had has been the dream collaboration, because sometimes they're not. Yeah. But I think it's recognizing it quick enough so that it doesn't impact the client. That's the most important thing. Absolutely. Because if the collaboration's not right and I don't think they're the right fit, then we mutually decide to step away. Yeah. And we don't impact that client, because the thing that I pride myself on is the client doesn't need to know what's going on behind the curtains.
The drama of it all.
So drama.
So talk me through a day in the life of you. What does your average... I say this knowing that I spend quite a lot of time on the phone nappies. To you, and no day is ever the same. But try and give me a rough guideline of a general day in the life of Penny.
Oh God. I mean, well, a lot
is
of
there
it,
even one?
A lot of it is kids. I'll be honest. I've got two beautiful boys, aged 2 and 3, who are the light of my life, but the absolute biggest bugbear of my life as well. So I am a mum of 2, so it's tricky. So I try to balance my life out as much as possible, because I genuinely love my work. So trying to make sure I'm a good mum and do what I love. Yeah. So, I mean, it's early morning rises with Freddie. It's doing all the early morning stuff. But then it's also managing my clients. So I do my coaching clients. I do mostly via phone. So we'll either do like a video call. So my day could literally be like dropping the kids off at nursery, getting back to my little work office at home, doing my back-to-back video calls with my coaching clients, and then the other clients that I have where I do more of a full service offering, which I do anything from like press releases to social media content and everything. So I'll pretty much be spending most of the day whatever the workload is for that particular day, but always touching base. That's my one thing. I really like connecting with my clients quite regularly, so there'll be meetings as well, face to face, you know, and then pretty much then doing the nursery pickup, dinner, and then after dinner probably doing some more work because because actually when I have to do writing, the evening is the best for me.
It really is.
Yeah.
There's so much less distraction, I find. Like I get nighttime working is.
Yeah. My copywriting, press releases, that type of thing generally happens in the evening, and then I'll pass out. Maybe see my husband in between at some point.
Head down on the desk, pass out, or flop onto the bed?
Oh, no, bed.
Down.
Oh, it's always, So literally I'll probably, like my last bit of work that I do, I always do sit up in bed rather than actually at the desk because... and I'll probably have some like kind of reality TV on in the background, like Married at First Sight.
There she is.
Hell yeah.
Love is blind.
Love a bit of trashy TV.
I've lost where I am with my questions now. So when it comes to working for yourself, what is your non-negotiable career perk that you carve out for yourself? While you're having a think, I'm gonna throw you a suggestion.
Go.
You are very, very good at taking your weekends and dedicating them solely to family time.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's about the setting of boundaries. I think because when I was agency side, I was very guilty of doing it all hours because I felt like responsible to my boss. I didn't want to let them down.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like with my clients, and because actually, you know, all my clients either have their own families or not even necessarily if they've got kids, but they've got partners, you know, whatever, but they all have their own lives. They're all smaller businesses. So it's a really nice way to kind of be like, no, let's do it for each other with these boundaries and actually be like responsible to say, So I would definitely say making sure that time is spent, because otherwise I think my husband might leave me because I mean poor thing didn't see me. So
it's so important, isn't it, to make time, because especially when you work for yourself, it can be so all consuming, and especially when there's like big deadlines coming up and just trying to find that balance between, you know, making time but also like there's no one ever for things to fall back on. Like as a founder, like it always comes back to you, doesn't it? So it's making sure that you've got that time dedicated. Yeah. I need to work on that too.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here like an angel. So what do you love most about your job?
The people.
Yeah.
I absolutely, and I mean, I literally, the biggest shout out to all of my clients because every single one of them is just absolutely wonderful. But I think probably the absolute best perk is I get to work with my bestie every single day. And I don't know many people that have got that opportunity where our businesses complement each other so well and that we talk every day. I mean, our husbands actually do say that I think you talk to Tigz more than you talk to me.
Yeah.
Which is probably true. But the beauty of that is that I'm loving watching you flourish and grow and your business, just everything about you. And I get to work with you and promote you. So it's the people, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely great when you work with people that you can spend all day, every day with.
Yeah.
It definitely makes life easier, doesn't it?
And Connor too as well, of course.
And I love working with both of you too.
Loving.
All this love in the room.
So what's the best piece of advice someone's ever given you?
Oh,
business advice. We'll narrow it down a little bit.
Oh, blimey. Gosh, I don't know. You've really put me on the spot here. Best piece of advice.
Just trying to think of a nugget of wisdom that someone's given you at any point.
I'll chip in with mine.
Go.
To get the ball rolling. My best piece of advice someone ever told me is don't give everything away all at once.
Keep your powder dry. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that there's definitely something in that, because I think sometimes before I've got a contract signed and sealed, I've probably done a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I do think that there is that element that sometimes you get excited about a client or someone new, and you kind of go, right, okay, I'm going to start doing loads and loads of work, and you haven't even got that contract signed and money through the door. So I'm actually going to echo what Connor said there of don't give it all away. Like, really important.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing a lot of work up front, like so much of what you're doing is proposals and pitches and like putting those concepts. It's like trying to get the right amount of info out without giving away the entire cart. So yeah. Something to muse on. If someone invested 50k into your business bank account this second, how would you spend it?
Oh, well, I think Connor knows this answer already. I really want to get an office with a podcast studio in the office. So it's like a permanent space, and it's something then that I can offer to all my clients and beyond, and really grow.
They will be glowing.
They'll glow up.
Glow. That podcast service, but then also because I'm looking to build the team to be able to have people have that office space, because I know that all of us kind of have been appreciating working from home, and obviously it is quite cost effective. If I'm growing a team, and especially if I'm bringing like young people, so I'm looking at like graduates and stuff like that right now, they need to be in the office with me, and they need to, like, I've trained so many people through my career. Like when I was agency side, I've had teams of like 15, 20 people, and you've got to be with them day in, day out to really help grow that career, grow that understanding. And I can't do that without an office. So for me, my next level up would absolutely be that office space for sure.
Amazing. I can see that in your near future as well, because I know how much you want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon it's going to be a matter of months before that happens.
Fingers crossed.
So this is my favourite feature that we're going to be introducing to the podcast. So we're going to be asking all of our guests this on every episode. And it is our internet search history question, where we delve into the internet to find something that you've said in the past and hold you accountable to it. On the 23rd of July, 2022, you wrote a post on Instagram about owning our true selves. And you mentioned that sometimes, even as an expert in visibility, it can be a struggle for you to show up in film and video. And I've specifically picked this one because I know how hard you've worked on this in like the last week as well. So that said, you do consistently push through and always show up as your most authentic, unfiltered self. And obviously we now have a podcast where you're going to be appearing in video online every week without fail.
Gonna get sick of me.
Available on all good video podcast platforms. How do you push through, and what tips do you have for others, like your clients, for example, that might feel the same way about their own visibility journey?
Do you know what it is? Genuinely, it's one of those ones that when you work in your own industry, showing up for what you do actually ends up being one of the hardest things to do.
Yes.
We're all guilty of it. And I have to say, it's actually the support around me that has enabled me to do it. So working with you, Tigz, was amazing because I remember doing our first shoot together, which actually wasn't really that long ago if we think about it. It was only like, And I'd done photo shoots previously from my dancing days and had the worst experience and just felt uncomfortable, awkward. And actually at that point I was young, thin, it didn't look too bad. So it shouldn't have felt
all the
like
things you also are now. Let's just throw that out there. Continue.
Mum of two. But no, I mean, basically, I think previous experience had really made it even worse. That I was like, okay, I really don't like doing this. But I knew I had to. I can't promote my business. I can't tell my clients to do something if I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah.
But it is genuinely about who you work with. So find the perfect photographer, videographer, producer, everyone that's going to make you feel comfortable and confident to do it. That's the best advice I can give. And that's exactly what I've had, being surrounded by you, being surrounded by Connor. Like yesterday, it was Wednesday actually, sorry. God, 2 days. Oh, my mum, literally my brain's like jam. Wednesday, I did a video shoot with Connor in my house, and it was my first video shoot with Connor.
It was a lot of fun.
We pretty much belly laughed all the way through it, but I came away feeling amazing.
Yeah.
I did. I genuinely was. I'll tell you now, Connor, I was really nervous about doing it because I
remember you saying, and you were very honest that you were nervous about it. It like your first venture into like the world of Instagram Reels, short form content, because it's not the most natural thing to be in front of the camera, especially if like you're sort of being silly in front of the camera and stuff, is it?
Yeah.
But you absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Oh, bless you. But this is it, because you gave me that confidence to do it. And again, like you do, Tigz, the way that I've watched lots of other photographers not do what you do, the way that you talk to people, that you even ask certain questions to be able to get a certain expression out of someone. It's just fantastic. It's amazing to see the skills that you guys offer and other people in your industry to make people feel comfortable. So honestly, like not everyone is right for everyone, but just find those suppliers that work for you, that enable you to show up. Yeah. Because that's what did it for me. And that's what's made me feel comfortable. And now I'm excited to do the next one because I had so much fun.
I mean, you were positively glowing. I actually called you afterwards. So I was like, Penny, I actually have to say this so you hear the words, not just read them in a text form. Like you are absolutely glowing with happiness in that photo that you posted, like the selfie afterwards. And it is finding people that make you feel like that about yourself, isn't it? So,
I mean, at the end of the shoot, you were already looking at next location.
I know.
Before you'd even left, I got a voice note.
We found
it. Reporting live from.
How do you feel about this venue? Because we basically already booked it. It's on this date.
I know. We're very enthusiastic, aren't we, Connor?
We are. We work fast.
Deep question.
Oh, God.
What's your why?
I feel like I've repeated this a little bit, but it's genuine. It's the people. So the reason that I show up every day and the reason I created this business was to help support anyone else wanting to develop their own business and see them flourish. Like my why is, take that leap. Yeah. I was afraid to do it for so long, and I'm really glad that something that was bad at that time, what felt devastating, like being made redundant whilst on maternity. And actually, I will go into a little bit, but I actually had a really bad experience in my last agency with my boss, and what felt like really bullying nature and culture, and really actually I went into a bit of a spiral mentally that really I struggled. And it was only from like getting that push, going out on my own and working with just really wonderful people every single day, getting inspired by people. Yeah. Like every single one of my clients inspires me. Yeah. Like what they do, how they show up, the way in which they've built their business, the way in which they survive and grow, and just their enthusiasm. I literally, it feeds me. So my why is the people that I am able to help that also help me.
Amazing. Amazing. So what does the future look like for you? You're coming up to your first year.
I know.
First year of business birthday. So what are you working on? What's near future for you?
Oh, well, this podcast is my big thing because I wanted to do this forever. Yes. So having started out in radio, I was always like, I want to be a radio presenter. And then actually having set up this business and then realizing the wonderful world of podcasting and actually the real opportunity. So for me, it's really growing this podcast with you guys and building our relationship and our working relationship together. Yeah, definitely if I could get an office, that would be amazing.
Top
with
of
a
the
podcast
list.
studio. But then also maybe getting a bit of support from like employing somebody, whether it's from the social media side of what I offer or the PR publicity side of what I offer, or both. Amazing. Just to grow that team to be able to support my clients in the way that I do. So that the platform is just a constantly growing entity, but it's still got that personal connection.
Amazing.
So,
Great things happening in your future. So 3 final lightning questions for you. What is your best business accomplishment? No humble brags required.
Best business I think setting up my own business.
Yeah, I'd say.
I think that's it. Like the fact that it's mine. Yeah.
It's yours.
It's mine.
What is your favorite productivity hack?
Oh, I'm all about writing. I'm old school. I know like this is going to make everyone cringe right now, but I'm notepad paper woman. I do my to-do list in my notepad. But it just means that, I don't know, it just for me is
The
that
act of
accountability
writing.
of like crossing it off and just not have something digital, but it's physical. It feels more like I've got to make sure that that's done.
I mean, as proven by the fact that I've turned up with my laptop with my notes on and my to-do list in the corner, and you've got printouts.
I have printouts.
What is one thing the internet doesn't know about you yet?
Oh my Lord. Well, I don't know if the internet knows it, but I'll use this one. I previously was a professional dancer for Rod Stewart.
Were you?
Did you not know this? There you go.
I know even Bestie doesn't know this.
Right, there you go. So I actually was a backing dancer for Rod Stewart at Buckingham Palace for the Olympic torch, where they kind of pass the torch through every country ahead of the Olympics. Yeah. So I was his backing dancer, and I'm actually in Hello magazine I'm literally in the background, that's hilarious. It's literally like a photo of Rod Stewart with Penny Lancaster one side and then me the other.
Oh my
so it's
goodness.
like Rod between 2 pennies.
Wow.
So... yeah, maybe the internet doesn't know it because it was so bloody long ago.
It was before Google.
It was before the internet was born.
So if anyone's been inspired listening to you today, how can they find out more about you? Apart from obviously checking out your details, which will be on the podcasting list anyway. But.
Yeah, no, so I've got my website, which is the -platform with a double T.com. But also, yeah, I mean, I'm on Instagram as well, Facebook, all the relevant platforms. And now TikTok, thanks to Connor.
And we'll put those in the podcast notes as well. So if anyone wants to have a look, they'll find them at the bottom. It's been amazing. I've loved actually learning a few new facts about you. We are definitely going to talk about the Rod Stewart thing more later. But yeah, it's been such a joy. Thank you for today.
Oh, thank you so much. And looking forward to finding out a little bit more about you on our next episode.
I'm not prepared.